Hello everyone, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Well, like we promised, we are going to do the blue and white scrimmage today. We're going to do the Twitter version of it. Basically what we do is we sit here and we go through all the Twitter accounts of all the Giant beat writers, and we give you updates and we give you just a general breakdown of what's going on at the scrimmage at the moment. So the scrimmage has not started yet, but they are saying that Golden Tate, of course, with his hamstring, will not be participating. David Sells has an undisclosed injury, and he is out. And, of course, obviously, Xavier McKinney and David Mayo are out as well. We are just waiting for the first couple of plays, and then we are going to give you everything that we are reading and seeing from the scrimmage. So let's see what we have going on here first in the first quarter. Honestly, I don't even think it's fair to be calling it the first quarter because of the fact that it's more going to be a lot of 7-on-7 drills and everything else. The Giants do have their new turf out. I'm going to probably get a picture of that and try to get that up on one of our thumbnails. So let's see. The Giants wrapped up their pregame routine, they're saying, and Daniel Jones opens up with a 7-on-7 drill with a completion right to Alex Bachman. Bachman should be an interesting roster guy. He seems to outshine David Sills, and of course David Sills is not practicing today. And he seems to be, like I said, he seems to be catching everything that's come his way. So I would not be shocked if he slides into that other receiver / special team player slot. Let's see, Jabari Peppers and Darnay Holmes just broke up passes on back-to-back play in the end zone. But then Daniel Jones hits Alex Bachman again for a touchdown. That's kind of what you want to see out of these guys this late in the game. Then we turn our attention now. It looks like Colt McCoy is now going to be taking the field for his 7-on-7 drills, and he immediately comes in and hits Derek Dillon for a touchdown. Derek Dillon, I don't have a lot of information on him, and I don't, I haven't really been following him, but I think he's someone I'm going to have to take a look at to see what's going on with his camp currently. Now, Saquon Barkley finds the open field behind Will Hernandez, and for a really good gain on an 11-on-11 drill. It looked like, who was that? Looks like Devontae Downs whiffed big time trying to tackle Mr. Barkley. They're saying that at one point in time, he went to tackle him, and Saquon basically was not there, and he was just grabbing that air at that point in time. But that's not something that we haven't seen the last 2 years from Mr. Barkley, so we're not going to get down to Mr. Downs for that one. And that could literally happen to anyone at this point in time. So let's see what else is going on here. And Leonard Williams on the next drive had what would be a sack. Of course, the quarterbacks are wearing their red non-contact jerseys today, and that's awesome for Leonard Williams because that's one of his. I think his second. He had a sack last week too. So I mean, that's a good sign that maybe Leonard will be moving out of the almost sack territory and into the out of the pressure territory. I'm not even going to get into the pressure thing because you know what? I've said this a million times. Pressure to me is an arbitrary stat because of the fact that they do not tell you the outcome of the pressure. Yeah, let's say, and I've said it before, let's say a guy has 23 pressures to his name for the entire season, and out of those 23 pressures, a quarterback's 20 for 23 for 400 yards and 7 touchdowns. So how is that a novel statistic that is going to help us determine, what his value and worth is? You know what the value is? A sack. Why? Because a sack puts a quarterback on his ass, and I know what the outcome of a sack is. But Leonard Williams having another sack, that looks like it's going to be another good day for Mr. Williams. And then we see that Darnay Holmes has prevented another touchdown. That is the second time he's done that today. And Graham Cano kicks. Mr. Graham-O-Matic has kicked another field goal. He's got 2 field goals so far during this scrimmage. So it's very interesting how this is playing out. Joe Judge basically said he's going to do a lot of situational things going on here. It's not going to be a scrimmage like we saw the first time. At one point in time, he had Daniel Jones running back and forth to the sideline, getting the plays from Jason Garrett, kind of simulating what would happen if the headset went out at that point in time, during the game. So that's a very interesting thing. It's a good thing to start doing now because, like I said, those types of things do happen during game time. So I'm I find that, I actually find it very interesting that he's doing that. That is very astute from Mr. Joe Judge. And now something a little worrisome evidently just happened, that the entire defensive front met Colt McCoy for another would-be sack. I mean, I get a little concerned about when you see that again, because like I said, that line does not seem to be holding up like it should be. But coming back on a good note, Saquon Barkley slices through the defense for another touchdown. Barkley looking like he's using this more than just a tune-up. He's been ravaging the defense right now, and that's a good sign because, like I said, this is really the showcase for players right now. You got to show your wares right now, just so so you can make the team. Not that Barkley's not going to make the team, but he's really showing Barkley is that he is in season form right now, it looks like. And I'm very excited about that. And it just came across that Daniel Jones has hit, oh my God, it's the unicorn. It's a mystical beast. He just hit Evan Ingram for another score. Fantastic to see Evan Ingram get some time. Of course, Evan missed the last scrimmage. So it's good to see him get going on and on and on. Now, let's see here, and we're jumping back into the action. And what does Colt McCoy do? He follows up that Daniel Jones touchdown with another TD of his own to C.J. Board. Listen, I bashed C.J. Board when we picked him up from Jacksonville after he got waived. I admit that freely, but I think C.J. Board's going to take that fifth wide receiver spot. I think it's going to be the big three. I think it's then going to be Corey Coleman, C.J. Board, and probably Alex Bachman. Just saying that. And what happens now? Colt McCoy just followed up with a perfect deep pass to a diving Corey Coleman. He led him perfectly, they're saying, and they basically put it in the only spot that the receiver could get it. So, I mean, that's really, like I said, I am a big fan of Colt McCoy. I'm very excited that he's on the team. And like I said, seeing things like that come out and really makes you happy that Alex Tanney is not going to be backing up Daniel Jones this year. And like I said, I was very impressed with Cooper Rush, and evidently Cooper Rush is having a great camp. So we had that conversation about how the Giants are going to carry the 53 if they're going to, if they're going to IR both McKinney and Mayo, because like I said, you have to be back by week 3 now. If you're not back by week 3, you're out of the season, out for the entire season. So it's no longer week 8. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to play out, because Cooper Rush, I don't know if he'd go to the practice squad, but he's looked really good. And like I said, he's a good asset to have, because Colt McCoy is in his 30s. And like I said, you're never sure how long these guys are going to continue to play. So Cooper Rush would be a nice asset to have on the team. And it looks like Wayne Gallman just dropped the pass, which is interesting because he has dropped one pass of each of his last 3 practices, they're saying. Or that's 3 out of the last 4. And I think he looked fantastic, Wayne Gallman, of course, last week. And I personally want to see him get a shot to back up Barkley. I know Deion Lewis is going to be more of the third down back, and but I would like to see him get a fair shot this season, because, like I said, I think he's got the talent, but he has to be more of a pass catcher. If he's not going to be catching balls, then I don't know. I don't know at this point in time. He's got to be useful as a runner, but like I said, he's got to be able to have some type of capacity out of the backfield itself. And just to update you again on some players that we're not going to be seeing today, Kevin Zeidler is just basically getting the day off. I mentioned before, Golden Tate does have the hamstring issue, and so does David Sills. Oh, actually, we don't know what the injury is with David. He just doesn't seem to be, they're saying he just doesn't seem to be around today. We're also finding out that Blake Martinez, of course, is not participating today. He's on the sidelines. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm getting a little bit more worried about Blake Martinez every day. I know they're doing the Belichickian thing about not giving out any information in reference to injuries during the season. But, is he going to play? I don't know. I know he came out and said the other day that if the season started tomorrow, he would be in the game. But we don't know if it's a foot injury. We don't know if it was a knee injury. At one point in time, they were looking at a shoe a couple of practices ago. So I don't know. I mean, you got to take these guys for, at their word and at their worth. But like I said, I do find it interesting that he is not, again, he's not participating, and he's only participated a little bit each day, and it's mainly been working on the sidelines. So, I mean, hopefully he's just saving himself up for the season. Like I said, hopefully it truly is nothing, but we kind of just have to wait and see and kind of go from there at this point in time, I guess. And it looks like our old pal Saquon Barkley just came in for 6. It looks like he had a little juke, a little move, about a 15-yard run. Nice job from the side, the right side of the line. Will Hernandez pulled on that play, and Penny and Evans, both really helped open the hole for Saquon. And like I said, I'm just watching the play right now, and Saquon does look good. He's dancing, he's moving, he's cutting forward. He looks like he is ready for the 2020 season. I do find it interesting that the Giants are piping in fake crowd noise, there's a lot of states that are not going to have any fans in the stands. New Jersey is going to be one of them because you can only have gatherings of up to 100. But like I said, I wonder if they're going to do like a baseball where they're going to have the crowd noise in the background. But I do find it very interesting that they have that going on at the same time right now. And we have a Cooper Rush sighting. Cooper just dropped one on the bucket to Garrett Dickerson, basically on the run. Cooper had an earlier mistake in the red zone, they're saying, but this was a nice catch and run by Dickerson, who had basically Sean Chandler in tight coverage. But like I said, he's really dropped it in there. And Dickerson, they're saying, is really starting to make a move to, a strong bid to try to get onto this roster. I mean, and that's what this game really is. I mean, we're going to have to see more and more what guys can do. So, I mean, this is very, very interesting. It's getting more and more interesting. And one thing they're saying is Austin Mack is a pretty good route runner. They said on back-to-back plays, one was a completion, came on a comebacker, and then he drew a defensive holding penalty on another route. So Austin Mack is another guy. I mean, we had Sills and we had Benjamin, and now it looks like we have Bachman and Mack. This cut down day on September 5th, I can't even remember the day, is going to be very, very interesting. And, of course, as we mentioned before, Blake Martinez is on the sideline, but also Tay Crowder is also not going to be in the scrimmage today. I don't know if there is anything going on. They're both working on the sidelines with trainers as the 7-on-7 drills are completing up. So, like I said, Tay Crowder, he had a good scrimmage as well. Like I said, maybe he's just nursing something, or they're just trying to keep him out of harm's way, because like I said, I have a feeling that he is going to make the roster over Carter Coughlin. But that's something we also just have to kind of wait and see, because like this cut down day is going to be very, very interesting. I have to laugh because everyone is saying on Twitter that this is a very interesting or different scrimmage because they seem to be working on everything. That, like I said, the Joe Judge is even working on sideline communications. Like I said, we addressed that before about the guy Daniel Jones running back and forth to get the play from Jason Garrett. So I do find that quite interesting that is going on right now. But like I said, Judge is a teacher, and he is trying to get his troops mustered up and get ready to rock and roll. Let me see. I don't see anything else going on here right now. Let's check a couple more of the Twitter pages, see what we can find. And they are saying the scrimmages, that is a wrap. The first team offense didn't get a ton of work, but Saquon Barkley had his best moments on some TD runs. Training camp is now basically wrapped up with cuts coming on Saturday. The season begins for real on Monday, and let's get going. We're going to do another video later today about the owner's press conference. But like I said, we enjoyed doing this today. Hope you enjoyed listening. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could like, if you could subscribe, if you could ring that bell, you think you know what that means, that'd be awesome.